Radio Frontier. This is Football Daft with Stephen Purden,
midfield dynamo and average actor,
Chris Toll,
target man, suspicious character,
and
with the top end of Stevenson,
Okay, so ahead of this weekend's Old Firm, it's time for something a little bit different on Football Daft, as we welcome representatives from two of Rangers and Celtic's biggest podcasts. We have Stephen Harrigan from Heart and Hand.
Hello, welcome to be here.
And we've got Jamie from the 20 Minute Tims.
How we doing?
Not bad, my man. Thanks very much for coming in, guys. I really appreciate it. As do you, Chris.
Yes,
sure.
I do.
Get somebody on your team this week.
Well, it's not that. At least they made the effort. Fucking Grado never did
Who?
it. That's right. So moving swiftly on.
So this week we're going to do something kind of like a boxing match, right? So we'll split it into rounds. Me and Chris will sit and eat the popcorn and just let you two battle.
Go for it.
All right,
okay.
This is up for
this
that.
is going to be some buzz, man.
This will be a laugh, innit? I'm just absolutely fucking praying that Rangers win something this season. So I'm pinning all my hopes on this, right? So round one is the current state of the teams. I don't know who I want to go first.
Will we toss a coin and see who gets to go first? Rock, paper, scissors.
Right,
Since
go
we're
right,
on
okay,
radio, right?
okay.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, Stevie's it.
There you go.
Here we go, man.
We won, bro.
We won, there we go.
Yeah.
Right, alright. Right,
On the
Sean,
hips.
you go. Current state. Don't start that. John, get him fucking
Can we
in.
not-
That says we've won already. It's
What is
finished.
that, the current state of your team? Just one of hoops, that's it?
Current state of the team, win the rock, paper, scissors. No, right, so what do you reckon, lads? Current state of both teams?
Well, what did Stephen Gerrard call Celtic? Relentless. So that's what Stephen Gerrard called them. I think that's a good place to start. I think Celtic are relentless at the moment.
Aye, but remember, we blink with one eye.
Well, we do. We blink with one eye and
Blink
they
with
wink.
one eye, don't we?
They wink with two eyes. So Celtic are relentless at the moment. Everybody is firing in all cylinders. Everybody's playing well. Lee Griffiths has more or less come out of retirement, and he's got more goals than Alfredo Morelos and half your team combined at the moment.
Oof.
There's
This is getting a bit heated. We've been quite nice to each other.
I know,
Stevie,
I know,
you know what
I know.
I can
Listen,
see
this is what we're here for. It's Old Firm weekend.
Exactly, mate. No, I can't disagree with that. I can't. It's since the turn of the year, Celtic's form has been absolutely unbelievable. And yours, hasn't he? Has it, Steve?
It's not. I think when you look back at the first half of the season for us, it was near perfect. Obviously, we didn't win the League Cup. But if you took that as a section, you know, our progress in Europe, everything that happened, you would probably say that was a blip since we've came back. It's been on us, it's been on the players. It's not a case of Celtic up in their form. They were always there, we were always neck and neck. We got the victory when it mattered on the 29th, and I think everybody expected us to kick on. We hit that milestone. But as football fans, we all know progress isn't linear. We've got a lot of hard work to do. I think the players have to take a lot of the blame. They have to shoulder an awful lot of the blame. Mm-hmm. Celtic are a well-oiled machine at this rate. It's very hard to put a team together to try and compete with them on a domestic front because they've just got more resources. They've had longer to put it together. It's not Stephen Gerrard's fault that Celtic are going for 10. He's only been there 2 years, and in the first 6 months or first year he was there, 50 grand of his, wages budget a week was going to the coronavirus in Mexico and Pena and Herrera. So, where we are at the moment, we had a few injuries, but we always come good in the big games, and there's no bigger game than the Old Firm.
Well, that's the thing, we've spoke about this week in, week out. Rangers seem to up their game for the big games. But that's a worry for me, because how many big games a season do Rangers get? Do you know what I mean?
See, that's what I was saying last week. The whole, what Ryan Kent said after the Braga game, and then Tavernier's programme notes, which I still can't believe went to print.
Unbelievable.
Stuff like that. We need to get rid of that mentality quick. We need to, especially, at the moment, I would pretty much say Celtic have won the league, but we need to get rid of that.
Not if it goes to a playoff.
Bring on the playoffs.
That's why he's shaking my hand. Come in here, he's shaking everybody's hand. Trying to spread that around.
I walked in, they got half of me.
And I'm about to have a beer with you, see when this is finished. Taking you up the road.
Oh no, I'll give you half an hour to stop that.
Full 60 seconds of passion later on, Chris.
So Jamie, what do you reckon then? What else have we got to say about the champions?
I think part of the problem that Rangers have got now is Celtic's form is just so good, and I think the pressure of watching Celtic win and win and win, and then you're looking at Livingston and you think, God, maybe we can get back in this, and Celtic pull a point out the bag. And I think that pressure's really getting to Rangers, because I think there's a big difference between the Celtic team and the Rangers team, and you kind of touched on it yourself, Stephen, but this Celtic team's just full of winners. They know what you need to do to win football matches, to win leagues, to win games, and that just becomes second nature to a team like Celtic.
Well, when you look at it, I mean, I think there's only a few players in the squad just now that have entered into a competition with Celtic domestically and haven't won it.
Aye.
You know what I mean? See, when you look at it like that, winning becomes a habit, and it's, you know, and to be quite honest with you, the only way that this match on Sunday for me is going to have a bearing in the league is if Rangers turn Celtic over.
Well,
or grind out. Celtic are all over them, and Rangers grind out like a 1-0 or something like that.
aye.
You know, that can galvanise a team, that sort of thing, and kick them on for the rest of the season.
Totally, as I said, like, I think the league's done. But
Aye.
if we win on Sunday, and in Leiden it's a big if, I just feel like our players' confidence is so low. I think, well, I don't know what's going on, but if we win, that's it down to about 10 points. We've got a game in hand still. We need to go down to Parkhead again. I don't know, but it's a big ask.
What do you think it was? What do you think it was about that game on the 29th that derailed your season? Because I listen to your podcast every time you get a big game. Usually when you lose, I like to listen to Heart and Hand just to cheer myself up a wee bit.
And copies, of course.
Aye, and I took, but I did take pleasure in. I remember there was, and it wasn't just you. There was a couple of Rangers fans that just thought, "This is it. We're the best team in Scotland now. We've done it all."
I think what you need to remember, I see at that point, Rangers were the best team in
No, I
Scotland.
agree
You know
they
what I
were,
mean?
but
they were on form. They were turning teams over every week.
Yeah.
And it's like Tavernier says in his notes, there was a point there where Rangers were beating teams 4 and 5 and 6-0 at the start of the
But
season.
that's when I go back to the mentality. There was a point in the season where Celtic were starting up, drafting points, and then we were playing on the Sunday and we were going out and we were absolutely pasting teams. I think there was a wee run where we beat Aberdeen.
Aye.
I think Hamilton was one. It was like 4 or 5 0. It was like 3 or 4 5 0s in a row. Do you know what I mean?
But it seemed to be that Celtic game. It seemed to be that game that you won for that point. That was the turning point in your season. Which
I think it was the winter
odd.
break.
Yeah,
But the split is great if you lose it. I mean, you think going into that split, right? Neil Lennon was the manager under pressure because basically he'd been outplayed in a cup final. He'd just been beaten on his home patch, and that was a big milestone for this squad, the Stephen Gerrard's squad. So going into the split, the pressure was very much on Neil Lennon. The problem we got a lot of injuries. We don't have a good enough squad in depth. That's the real essence of the problem for us. We were playing when we were winning games and coasting games. We were winning them by using a squad of about 11 to 13 players. Once you drop off and once you have the likes of Tavernier, Barisic, Fredo Morelos, obviously, with his dive in that Parkhead game, was going to miss the next couple of matches. You lose momentum, and momentum's very hard to get back.
Right,
So,
actually.
like the year before, the split's great for the team that loses it.
And when you lose that momentum, obviously the knock-on effect after that is you lose the confidence, and once the confidence is gone, that is, I think, one of the hardest things in football to get back is confidence. And I think what you're saying is right. I mean, Stephen, I think when you look at Celtic's squad, they're bringing Lee Griffiths back in. He's been out. Your midfield, you've got a lot of good midfielders.
Christie's just come back.
Rangers haven't got a great squad. We know you're talking about when the boy Patterson came in for the Stranraer game. Remember, he played well, which I feel should maybe get more chance. But then you're looking at Morelos out, we've brought Canberra in, the midfield with Jack and Arfield, then you're touching on players like Ojo, Barker, you're going, they're not good enough, Ojo and Barker, in my opinion.
No,
Anyway,
Brandon Barker never even stood out for me when he played for Hibs. You know what I mean? So the fact that Rangers signed him, and supposedly Celtic were interested in him at the time as well, that was baffling to me.
But he's a squad player, he's a hard worker.
He's
It's hard
a squad player, but he doesn't improve the squad.
No, but we had to play a numbers game. You can't, replace the squad and have all that ability come in
But
a couple of windows.
That then goes to the fact that you're bringing in, you're going for like more players rather than a higher quality of player. Do you know what I mean? See, like players from, like, speaking from a Celtic perspective, right? Looking at Rangers, see players like Jordan Jones and Brandon Barker, maybe Ojo and stuff like that. If I was a Rangers fan, I would rather Pull all the wage resources together and get one right good player in.
Aye, but again, then it's the flip side of what we're talking about. We've not got a big enough squad as it is. So if you're not right, if you bring one player and spend all that money on one player, you're in an even worse position if he gets injured.
I think you're right. I think there is a difficult thing that Rangers have today. They don't have as much money as Celtic, so they need to balance things and try and be canny. And the appointment of Steven Gerrard was canny. Nobody thought he was going to come to Rangers. That was canny. Then they get some good players in, and Morelos and Kent, and they're trying to juggle it. And I think part of the problem is when you had your lot and you looked at it, you thought this team can win the league. But the league's, as you said yourself, it's a lot of games.
It's a marathon.
It's a marathon. I think a lot of what's happened to Rangers is the expectation. This every season. We're definitely going to win. This is it. 50. And you just think maybe take a breath. If you win that Celtic game, you take a wee step back and you go, right, this is a point to build on instead of all the mad celebrations and shouting at the camera.
You should always celebrate.
I
agree with the boys.
I don't agree. See that the celebration thing. I mean, what was it? 10 years, now a decade we've won down there. Everything we've been through. I mean, I've seen Neil Lennon run about and do the helicopter on the pitch when he's beat us or Brugger's draw. So,
to be fair,
it's a draw.
It was 5 each.
Aye, 5 each.
What I mean, what a game.
See, the thing is, see this Sunday, if you was absolutely do us and Lennon's doing that on the pitch, I'm like that, right? You've just beat your rivals. I'm raging.
Your ass. See if Neil Lennon runs on the pitch, Ibrox doing the aeroplane, you'll be on after him.
No, I wouldn't. Because I'm away up in the main stand. I can't get down there quick enough.
Fair enough.
No, but the celebrations, I think, it was like he screamed at the camera and walked down to his own supporters.
I mean, you were losing the plot over the Morelos thing. That was a gesture to Gerrard. There was a lot made of that in the aftermath of the game that really took away the reasons why the game was won and lost at Parkhead, the way that Rangers set up in the middle of the park, the way we dominated yous. And then you're going back to the players, the recruitment. Well, you've had more than your fair share of message. You look at people at Bio and everything else. The difference is you can afford it and you can observe them. You can take them into your squad and say, we don't have to do it. Like Griffiths, he wouldn't be at Celtic if it wasn't for people like Edward and all. Plus, Edward had like 6 months to a year to bed in at the club.
I mean, we went out in January there and spent £6 million on 2 players and named them again in the squad.
How much you spent in left backs?
I know.
Aye. No, you're absolutely right. It's a fair point you're making there. What I will say is Celtic, if they try to do this Moneyball thing, right? So if they're bringing in a player for £3 million, they're hoping to then sell him on for 10, 15, right? Whereas Rangers, it's as if they're trying to do it. But see, for me, bringing in Ryan Kent at £7 million, you're not going to get £7 million back for Ryan Kent.
He's English. Because so if you need to make for the Champions League, you need to have an English player. That's what Rangers banked on. We banked on he was going to progress. Now he's been trained in England, so under that rule, the English clubs need a player for their Champions League squads. They'll drop 9 million at the drop of hat for anything.
That's a fair point as well. I suppose. But do you honestly think that Ryan Kent is good enough to go to an English Champions League team? Be honest.
No, but there's people like Richard Wright and all that went to teams just to sit on the bench. Now the difference with Ryan Kent is was the 7 million valuation too high? Probably.
What's the Sheffield United pay for Ollie McBurnie?
Well, that's exactly what I was about to say.
If you buy a £9 million player, you need to have £9 million wages. At the moment, we've not got that wage structure that allows us to do it. So you have to be creative. You have to sometimes you overpay for your nice dinners. You know what I mean? You go to a steak restaurant. It's not always.
See the thing is, see if it's a nice dinner. I don't give a fuck how much it costs. Man.
Yeah, you'll be getting a fucking £500 steak soon. Right, so round one's done. Rangers are 1-0 up. So on to round two now, right? Right, style of play.
How's it managed to end up 4-1 to Celtic between rounds?
Who's a ref?
Round two, style of play. I don't want to start this one, man. I don't know. Style of play. I don't know what your style is these days, man. I really don't. It's a tricky one. Rangers have, like we're talking about, lost confidence.
Is shite a style of play?
Aye.
That's your style of play now, isn't it?
Our style of play relied on Morelos, being that physical presence, being that pivotal, being that focal point at the top of the attack, the point, dropping deep and then letting the kind of free rolls behind them play. And then you had Davis mopping up. You look at the game at Parkhead, Davies basically sat in front of Golson and Katic and just mopped up everything. Where we've lacked, Davies has been off form, Jack's been out injured and Morelos has disappeared, and when that happens, you can talk about styles all you want, but again, it just comes down to players' confidence, players' form, and where it goes from there.
But I think through the season when Morelos played good and when he was scoring goals, the team played good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? See when Morelos is on form.
Or was it the other way about? Was it because the team played good, Morelos scored
you
goals?
could argue
You know
that,
what I
aye.
mean? But when you're saying that as well, like when you look at teams down south, like see like Man City, they've taken on that kind of Barcelona thing where they've got 3 players for each position and they can interchange them and stuff like that, right? Now, that again comes back down to that squad size thing and the squad quality. You know, see, I'm confident with Celtic. I feel like we've got 2 or 3 players for each position.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, some of them are fucking shite, right? But
He hinted. Tell us what you really think, Chris, man.
I mean, for me, he's no shite, right? But for me, I don't think Greg Taylor's at the level that we need for a Celtic left back. But the other options there,
Aye,
are,
that's it.
you know what I mean? That it's like he's the best of a bad bunch. Whereas we've just brought in £25 million for a left back. Why not pay 10 million for a left back? Use 10 million of that 25 million, and then again, hopefully within a couple of years you can then move him down south and make a bit more money. But the style of our play really depends on that, and I think the Greg Taylor's now being used as a wing back, and he's not a wing back, he's a left back, he's a defender. Whereas you've got Bolingoli, who's not a defender, but he'll run up and down that wing for you all day. And then you've got Johnny Hayes, which is some sort of horrible hybrid of the two. You know, that's a good thing with Lennon. They're introducing 1 or 2 different formations. We can see if it's not working, we can change it now. And that, I feel like we're wasting maybe a couple of spaces on the bench with players like Kamala. I don't think he's going to make it. I genuinely
agree
don't.
with you, no, I'd agree.
And that comes back to you saying we can spunk £3 million on a player, and he's going to. I think he'll be away by this time next year.
We play the same system as Liverpool, and basically, you know, get your full-backs high, get a lot of widths from them. Teams then figure you out as well, so you have to do a level of adjustment, and we've done that. But the problem's been, Celtic have went 2 up top. We haven't really got 2 strikers you can do that, and again it just comes to the squad depths. You can only change formation if you get the players there that's able to do it. The formation and style we play is best suited to the players we have. It's just down to the application.
I think the phrase is you can only push with the cock you've got.
Absolutely beautifully put.
I don't know. I think the thing about Rangers' style of play though was Celtic had to change their style of play because they get their arse felt over 2 games with Rangers. We just couldn't cope with it. We couldn't cope with it.
Would you not drop Brown, but would you never see Brown getting dropped in order to kind of facilitate a different formation?
I don't think you need to. I think Scott Brown, the leadership on the pitch is massive. The leadership for Scott Brown is massive for Celtic's
Good leader,
point of
poor
view.
player, but
I don't think he's a poor player. I don't think he's a poor player. I think Scott Brown's a good player. He's not as good as he used to be. He's definitely on the decline. But
He's 36 years old.
aye, that's exactly what I was about to say. You need to expect that. But I think what Scott Brown brings to the team is pretty invaluable. But Celtic have adjusted, as you said. They've went 2 up top. They've, I think is it only Conte that's playing with two up front at the moment. He's the only one I can think of. Do you know what I mean? There's no many people. So Neil Lennon's brought this back for Martin O'Neill's time. He's thought, well, 3-5-2 what for me?
Whatever happened to 2 up front, man.
Exactly. See, a strike partnership was
midfields don't want to do the work now. You think back in the day, the 2 in the middle of the park would outnumber or outwork anybody in there. Nowadays, you've got to have one covering and all that kind of thing.
And it's all down to the whole tiki-taka, I think. Because
That's what I said to you last week. So everybody tries to be Pep Guardiola and they try and play this kind of system where it's, I don't know, man. I think like you're saying, like it does get fun out a lot more now. I think. Do you know what I mean?
But football's cyclical, right? See, back in the day, it was a cat and actual system going back to like Italian football. And nobody could beat that, and then it got figured out, and then it was a Dutch, the total football, and nobody could beat that, and then it got figured out. So, see, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. There will come along a coach that it will click with them, and they'll go like, "This is how we beat this system," and then everybody will start copying him, and that's just how it works.
I mean,
man.
look what happened with Brendan Rodgers. I mean, if you draw a graph of how his team performed with Celtic, it was first kick came in. Absolutely monstered the league. Then people kind of started to figure it out, and then by the season he left, you could fair enough say most of the teams in the league sort of kind of figured how to play against Brendan Rodgers. But I think the 3-5-2 it'll be interesting to see what style of play Neil Lennon decides to go with against
I
Rangers.
think he's got to go with 2 up.
I think he'll go with 2 up as
Because
well.
I think he'll have learned his lesson for Copenhagen.
Aye.
He should have anyway.
I think he'll go with 2 up top.
The problem we've got in our league as well is we have such a familiarity with every other team.
Yeah.
So you're playing them so many times, it's such a big cycle. So you're getting to know the individual players' tendencies.
Ah, you're absolutely right.
Well, you would like to think you're getting to know
Well-
playing them. We've played quite a few teams, a good few times.
Aberdeen and
Fucking
Kilmarnock.
struggles, man. Hearts.
Seen Aberdeen more times with family members.
Which takes me on, man, when you're talking about that, like, formation stuff, takes me on to round 3, right, management. Right, so, getting back, right, Rodgers is off. He's have won the treble, and that Lennon's come in, steady ship. What do you think with Lennon? Could you honestly sit and say when that appointment get made, you were happy?
I'll be honest, I wasn't doing cartwheels up and down the Gallagate, but and this, no, I'm not just blowing my trumpet, but I could see the reasoning behind it, and the reasoning behind it was, if your options for manager, like, forget Benitez and Mourinho, that was never going to happen, but see if your options for manager are Chris Hughton, see if they're Neil Lennon level managers, then your best bet is Neil Lennon, because he gets it, he knows what's involved, he understands what it is to be Celtic. You can't get, I mean, we had Ronnie Dial on the podcast and asked him if there's one thing he would change if he got the job again, what would it be? And he said, I would need to understand that you need to win every game with Celtic. So some managers come in, believe it or not, and they just don't get that. They just don't get that you can't lose or draw games.
I think you find that's because they're unfamiliar with the Scottish game.
Aye.
You know, I think the exact same happened with Kashina, didn't it?
He's a fraud.
There was quite a few things happened with him, man. He's like, he just didn't. I don't know, I think sometimes when I've seen Dyla as well, it's like, you've seen them in the press conferences and they're talking, and you can see they're trying to embrace that kind of mentality, but it was always that wee kind of fragile thing in their armour where you see them talking as if, right, it's alright, whether it was a point or it was...
I think with Ronnie Dyla, it was more the fact that he didn't think he deserved to be there.
Aye.
Scotland's very intense, but even if you go down the road to England, go to a Premiership game or Championship game, it's completely different. There's not that level of intensity from the crowd, from the players, and I think, you know, Lennon's the perfect choice domestically because he's been there, done it as a player, as a manager before. He knows the league inside and out.
He's kicked his on in Europe as well.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And that was what I actually come on Football Daft when Ewan was still presenting it, when Neil Lennon get announced as the Celtic manager. And that was one of the points that I made. I says I think he'll be more sound defensively and stuff like that in Europe. That was the thing with Rodgers. Neil Lennon's got a couple of different styles of play that he can play now. Brendan Rodgers has got one style of play, right? And it's gung ho, fucking get the ball on the deck, up the park, score as many goals as you can. But that's very easy to figure out. And what you say is there was a slow decline in that Celtic team from the day that he was announced as a manager until the day that he left, and it was a steady decline.
I'll say this.
Still say he's one of the best managers in your
Absolutely.
history.
Oh, aye, definitely.
100%.
But I'll say this about Neil Lennon. I think Neil Lennon is an underrated manager by a lot of people, and even Celtic fans. I think even now, like, you know, he loses against Copenhagen, and immediately everybody's like, oh, he doesn't get it. The tactics are, he doesn't. And you're like, you need to give the guy a break.
He made a mistake.
You need to give the guy a break. He's a good manager. He plays a volume game of football. Get the ball forward. Be more aggressive. But again, he's what's the word I'm looking for? He's quite a dynamic manager. He's changed his formation halfway through the season. I can't remember last time I've seen that. Do you know what I mean? He brings players in and out.
I was very surprised when I seen that. When I
Aye.
seen that, my mate, he goes to Celtic games every week, man. I was like, he said that. He says, we're doing a lot with the 3-5-2, a lot more comfy and a lot more compact and more dangerous. And I'm like, I couldn't believe it changed, but yeah, I mean, he's matured as a manager.
Aye.
He can't really argue about his danger.
His apprenticeship was served as Celtic manager.
Aye.
You know what I mean? He's then went and he's dipped his toes down in England. Unfortunately, he picked the wrong club.
Was it Bolton?
Bolton,
They were-
They were a
Bolton, they had no
basket
money.
Aye.
Neil Lennon ended up paying the staff's wages himself when he was down there out of his own pocket. Right, so see if you're having to pay for the staff, you know that you've not got a transfer kit, you know that you've got to wheel and deal, and he got a raw deal down there. And I think the Bolton fans still admire him a fair bit because of what he done for the club. Right, he then comes back up to Scotland, takes over Hibs, does a fantastic job, falls out with the owner, and then luckily, right at the time when Rodgers goes, he finds himself out of a job.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So he's been the right man in the right place at the right time.
So did you think he was the right appointment when it got made?
To be honest with you, I was underwhelmed purely because I think Brendan Rodgers ruined managers for me. I'm not even kidding.
Just because he was just so good.
It was because, see, when we announced, but I'll never
Aye.
forget, see the day we announced Brendan Rodgers, I was driving by Celtic Park, right, and I was looking at the stadium, and just, it hadn't been announced yet, and the screens in Celtic Park changed, and it said welcome Brendan, and it wasn't on the news or anything like that, and I get pure fucking excited because I'm like, I'm the first person that knows about it.
Aye.
Right? And see the whole fanfare, the stadium was full when
Aye.
it was announced and all that. It felt like Martin O'Neill again, but on a grander scale, right? And it's just, with all due respect, Neil Lennon was slightly underwhelming when he came in, and I did feel he would stand us in better stead in Europe. But I didn't think that he could really do much more domestically than Brendan Rodgers had already done. You know
But
what I
that
mean?
takes me on what you're saying about like when Brendan got announced. It's kind of similar when Gerrard got announced, wasn't it? It was like
The fanfare.
euphoria. It was because he's an icon, isn't he? So
Absolutely.
it was the excitement factor.
The difference is, but Lennon's walking into a culture that's established, a team that's established. Steven Gerrard had to establish all that himself.
Oh,
This was a team on its knees. It was a squad with a group of players that he had to completely recycle. It's his first job in management, and the pressure's on from the start. Now his strength at the very early on was his backroom staff and the people he brought with him.
Aye.
That still remains today. I know people want us to be a wee bit more pragmatic or talk about formation changes, but to do that you need a lot of time in the training part. You look at, you spoke about Conte earlier. Well, the best season he had at Chelsea when they won the Premier League is because he had no Europe and he had all the time midweek to work on them tactics, week in, week out. Look at the fixtures since the break. It's ridiculous. We had this winter break and I don't think we've had a break yet. It's been
No, it's
constant
been
weekend,
midweek,
Tuesday, Thursday.
weekend,
you know.
midweek,
Yeah.
weekend. all the
Surely
time.
that's where coaching comes in.
Yeah, but again, if your players drop in confidence, the game plan against Braga was probably the exact same amount of detail. That okay, there was some variations against Hearts, but we just get outworked. There's no difference in a game plan. If you don't work hard than the player opposite you, you're not going to have a good result, are you?
No, that's true.
What do you
On you go, mate.
What do you think about this sort of the way his management style though, like throwing the players under the bus and singling people out and all that? Because even as an innocent bystander, which I am, you're
As much as you want to see buses driving over Rangers players,
you're watching that and you're thinking, good, you can't just keep hammering the boys like that, surely.
What do you do then?
I think some of it has to come back.
what
but
do you
you
do
know
then?
what I've
You don't need to do it
noticed.
in public though, do you? 'Cause
Yeah.
What
See, if you want to play for
I've-
Rangers, then you have to have the strong mentality. What he's doing now is finding out who's strong enough to play for the club. Now, in doing that, he's probably found out about 3 or 4 players that will play on Sunday that are not good enough in the long term to play for us. If they're not, the door's there. But you can't buy that winning culture in 2 years. You have to create it. So it's very hard to do. So at the moment, he's still working his way through. He's looking for what he was. He was a very emotional guy, he led by example on the pitch. He made a lot of sacrifices in his playing career off the field to get where he got on the field, and I think he expects the same for his players. I think he really struggles when he sees players not at the same ability levels, but players that just don't have the same mentality or a will to, make the sacrifices that he made.
And I think there's a flip side to what you're saying there, Jamie. I think when it's like when players are getting slammed off media and stuff like Morelos and other players, Gerrard sticks up for them so much. He sticks up for his players, and you can tell when he's taught. I think the honesty just comes through for him and the kind of that mentality he's played under. But when he's come into this job, his first job in management, if anybody had said to him, you're going to take a team, you're going to rebuild a team, and within 2 years you're going to have him in the last 16 in the Europa League.
Yeah.
I mean, domestically it's been very poor since the 29th of December, but that is an amazing stat. When you see the state we were in, Kashinya in a hedge arguing if we get pumped off progress. Come on, do you know what I mean?
See, if you go back to the point that Jamie was making there, do you not think that he's very selective with the players that he defends and the ones that he kind of like criticises?
Give me an
Maybe he knows
example.
you're more fragile.
Say for example, like Katic's 2 mistakes, right? I think he kind of, without mentioning his name, he kind of fired him under the bus a wee bit. Whereas Goldson, last week, he's come out and defends him. Now, you see if I'm Katic, I'm like, wait a fucking minute here. Why is he defending him when he's not defending me? And then he turns around and gives Goldson the captaincy as well in the next game.
Aye, but he's a vice captain at the start of the season.
I know, but...
So what you got to do if you're captain, you got to give your vice captain.
Aye, but it's, there was a fair bit of an outcry about that for the Rangers fans over last week.
What about Goldson being the captain?
When he came out and said, well, obviously Tavernier was injured, so it's going to go to the vice captain, right? But reading that online, like the Rangers fans' comments and stuff after Gerrard's interview, when he said, oh aye, he basically came out and defended goals. Do you know the interview I'm talking about?
I seen it was the next day. He said that he said they came in and he apologised to everybody.
Exactly.
And,
Right. So what? If I'm Nikola Katic, I'm like, why is he defending him? But he's kind of family under, and that can put a divide in.
Aye, there's a hang with Goldson, right? There's the way I see it. Hollander's out injured, right? Goldson, he trusts him, right? He's one of his first signings, wasn't he? Or was he his first signing? Maybe I think.
One of the first.
And I just think the situation he's in now, and I don't think the way we are playing, you can play Edmondson and Katic. They're too young, they're too inexperienced. I think you need somebody. And alright, Goldson's made a mistake again, right? He's not had the best form, but really I'm looking at the full team and going, who has?
You're going to drop somebody every time they make a mistake. Katic's mistakes weren't his first. He's still a young boy.
He's still learning.
Goldson he sees as his leader.
Edmondson was playing with fucking Oldham, wasn't he? So you're not going to put Edmondson and Katic together. So I think he's kind of stuck with him. I think he does trust Goldson and that's his man, his go-to defender. But I just don't think he can drop him and play Edmondson and Katic. I really don't.
Who do you think's a better manager, Neil Lennon or Steven Gerrard?
Steven Gerrard.
I mean, don't.
But I would include the coaching staff in that.
But it's funny you should mention
count trophies, eh?
I was about to say.
Fuck's sake.
But the thing, like you say, but this is what is his second year in management, so you're weighing that up. And admittedly, Rangers do have a good coaching staff, but if you look at Celtic's coaching staff, Steve McManus, how much has that guy won?
Damien Duff,
John Kennedy, who worked under Brendan Rodgers. I think a lot of people just sort of think, including myself at the start, this is like a hodgepodge of guys lying about the club and we'll bring them all together. But at the end of the day, they're all winners. They've all won a lot. They've worked at the highest level. Like Damien Duff's what with Mourinho and all these massive clubs and all that, you know. But people, I think, look at it and go, Steven Gerrard's still the better manager, and that's what goes back to what I was saying about Neil Lennon being underrated.
I don't know. I think you need to look at the fact that they've only played against each other for one season, one full season anyway. I don't think you can really judge it, to be honest with you. I think Gerrard needs a few years as a manager. Neil Lennon's been a manager.
That's my question. How long's Neil Lennon been a manager? I mean, it's Lennon. He's done a good job the first time as a Celtic manager. Went to Hibs, they played very attractive football, they're a dangerous team. But Gerrard, I think, he even finished his second season in management yet. So
that's it.
I still think he's better than Lennon.
I think I'm coming round.
I don't think Neil Lennon's going to the Premiership anytime soon.
I don't think Steven Gerrard does anyway.
So on to round 4, boys, before we start rolling about and knowing a good way, right? Best players, what you thinking? Best players in the Celtic team, what do you think?
For me, the best players in the Celtic team right now is Callum McGregor and Dodson Edward.
No disagreement here, absolutely 100% agree.
How about you, Stephen?
And Big Fries.
Edward is the one everything goes through. He can drop off deep, he's got that touch, he can run at players. He's our most dangerous player. Yeah, I would say McGregor as well. McGregor gave us lots of problems, with that run from deep. He times his run so well, and then when he gets in position, he knows how to finish. So they're the two that really makes him tick at the top end of the park. Defensively, you're still a wee, like ourselves, you're not that solid.
We're no solid, but we've got big Fraser Forster behind the defence. You
love him, right?
I fucking love him, mate. I love the fact that I'm sitting across for a midget version.
That's coming right from the midget version of Rico Anori.
There you go, Fuck's sake.
You've been sitting there, just saved that the whole time.
Man. You set him up nice for that. That's a belter, man.
Probably jump better than him, but
bastard, man. I don't know, man. Wait a minute, hold on. No, I've not got a miniature Brian Lloyd-Rock in my pocket. sorry, lads.
Come on.
Oh, Big Rico knew how to deal with Lloyd-Rock. Come on. He fucking did so. With two different shoes on too. What a player.
Jeez, I'll say McGregor and Edward.
For me, McGregor, Edward, and when he's at full fitness, and people might raise an eyebrow, but I think Big El Hamid's a fucking magic footballer, man.
I'm looking forward to getting him back. I think Edward's on a different planet, almost footballing wise.
Think you'll keep him next season?
No, I don't think so. But again, it depends. I mean,
there's a lot of rumours.
There's a lot of rumours, and is it a win-win for him if he ends up getting a big contract and told he can leave in another year?
What if the Euros are delayed a year? Do you think that factors into the decision?
That's a fair
I think it might do.
The one thing I would think that would maybe stop him from signing a new big money contract is he gets to the end of the season, breaks his leg. He's there for another 3 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think to be honest with you, from a business point of view as well, if Celtic can get 30 million for Odsonne Edouard, which I think is probably going to be the asking price round about that, then it would be, if we can bring in like a 10 million striker, a 10 million centre half and a 10 million midfielder to replace Scott Brown, then I think it's a no-brainer for Celtic. But I would love to see him there. If we manage to make 10 in a row, I would love to see him being the focal point for
I think Odsonne Edouard realistically could maybe outside, maybe no, at Liverpool. I think he would get into most squads.
Spurs should buy him, shouldn't they?
Aye, Man U, Spurs. But
Spurs
like you
would be
say,
a fit for him.
that's a big worry of mine though, Chris, because you want Celtic to go out, sell him for 30 million, but you just know we're going
to spend it.
we're
You're
going to
right,
scramble
we're
about. We're going to
Words right out my
see if
mouth, that's what I
Canberra
was
was
gonna
still at Hibs and Neil Lennon hadn't fallen out with him. We'd be selling Odsonne Edouard and trying to get Canberra or something like that. That's my worry.
After that goal he scored against fucking St Johnstone, I wouldn't mind him up front, man. What a strike that was.
Man, it was a good goal, man.
That's one thing that we're actually missing. We don't seem to have anybody that's willing to scalp a ball.
Rogic likes to date from time to time.
I know.
What about us? What about our best players in the room, mate?
Best players are most important players. I'd say the best players we've got in terms of Sunday's game is going to be, Ryan Kent, because him and Morelos, I've got a wee bit of a number on you. Just played against you.
Fuck off,
Morelos.
Don't talk
Alright, he might have no scored, but see the way he ragdolled Big Julian last time?
Aye, I know.
He was the whole pivotal thing for that game. He changed the game. Then you have Kent, who always seems to play well against you. Always comes big in the games. I think Hadji's a very important player, but he tends to drift out of games. The physicality can get him.
Aye.
But the most important player is probably Steve Davis because of the job he does, and the way he can distribute the ball, the way he does it so quickly. If he's on his game, then these games, the battles are always won in the middle of the park.
Ryan Jack as well. Ryan Jack seems to play well against Celtic.
He's a big miss, I don't think he's going to make it tomorrow night.
Is he?
He's out.
No, is he?
He's out, man, he is. So that takes us on to the next, like the opposition player you fear the most. What do you think there? Who do you fear for us? Come on, it's Huntersies.
There is Huntersies. It's
I'm racking my brain here, Chris. I can't think of a single guy.
I'll be honest.
John, cut!
Do you know what? I don't want to come across as a fucking arsehole here, but there's nobody that stands out for me, man. But at some point,
Which I said that before the last offer, and obviously not.
If at some point Alfredo Morelos is going to score a hat trick against us,
I just want to score one.
right? It's going to happen. It's going to come off his arse and go into the top corner or something like that. But see, once he breaks his duck, I think that could spell a wee bit of trouble for Celtic, to be honest with you.
Aye.
But that's if he plays, because he's a bit of a liability at times, and this
He'll play on
is
Sunday. He'll play, aye.
Who do you play on the right hand side of your three up front?
The right up front, you've got Kent.
Is that Hadji at the moment?
Hadji and Kent, man.
Aye.
Hadji and Kent can rotate.
Does
but-
Kent no play in the left? I thought Kent
Aye,
played
but
in the
sometimes he'll rotate.
Because
he can.
I think the big question for Celtic is, and you touched on earlier, Chris, is left back.
Aye.
Who do we play at left back?
I think Johnny Hayes.
I think he might stick with Taylor. I think that's why
he'll play Taylor against
I think that's
us,
why
aye.
Taylor's getting so much game time in. But I agree with you. Like, I think Taylor just needs time. I think he's a good player. But he played for Kilmarnock under Steve Clarke. It's not like they were the most attacking side, and we're trying to change him into something different. But I think the reason he's getting more time is for this game, one eye in this game. But that's the position that worries me. Your right hand side of a left back position.
I think it would be Hadji, wouldn't it?
They'll try and get him one-on-one situations and
Aye.
exploit it.
Is Tavernier going to be playing, or is it going to be a Polster?
I hope so.
Probably.
You know what? I understand what you're saying. You hope so, but see Tavernier going forward. He's good going forward. He's a bit of a liability sometimes defensively, but
The problem is with two up front, if Tavernier's going forward, Edward likes to find those spaces out in the left on their right hand side, and then Callum McGregor's brilliant at finding space and linking up there. So I think it'd be interesting to see how Rangers approach the game, because like you say, they play one way, and then they just sort of, if a player drops out, they replace him, and more often than not they replace him with a player that's not as good. So I think it's going to be an interesting tie, but I don't think there's anyone in particular that worries me.
what needs to be said as well is you are struggling with injuries a wee bit just now. You know what I mean? So this could be the time for somebody to make their name as a Rangers player. You know?
You have to have that next man up mentality if you want to play at Rangers. You get opportunities, you better make sure you take them.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Right, so round 6 troops. What's the score going to be this weekend?
A draw, I think.
Aye.
I think it'll be a draw. Either that or Celtic are going to win 5-1 again.
John Wan, I'm out of here. It'll be the Football Daft podcast with Chris Toll.
Chris Daft. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I think it's a toss-up. Depends what
He's a prediction, come
Depends
on.
what Celtic turns up.
Right, just use your prediction, would
4-0
you?
to Celtic. I was trying to be pragmatic there and sit in the fence, but nah.
What you think, Stephen?
I'm going to go 2-1 Rangers, but I do think whatever happens tomorrow night could have an impact on the game. You know, depending on how much energy we use, depending on the kind of result you get, because if you get a good result, then you're full of confidence going into that game. If you don't get such a good result, you've got to pick the players back up very quickly again. But big games hasn't been our problem. That's not why some of these players won't be at Rangers.
Aye, we were talking just before we came in, Chris, and that's the thing. Like, these Rangers, they turn up for the big games. That's what they seem to do. It's the other games that have let you down. But
That's a big worry for me.
aye, but on the flip side, your season could be over by the end of the week. Because if you lose to us and you lose to Leverkusen, then
Well, remember they've got a second leg.
Behind closed doors.
Oh, behind closed doors.
He's
aye.
went to Portugal and done it over there. You know what I mean? It's Leverkusen are a very, very good side. They've got one of the best players in Europe now, Kai Havertz, right?
Aye, he's
and
quality.
see this boy, he's going to go to the very top of the game. So, but Braga had a boy that's just signed for Barcelona
35 million for
a lot of money.
Barca.
So,
The thing is, see whatever we get out of these two legs, it's a bonus. We've got to the last 16.
Aye.
see the thing is, this round in Europe, I think Rangers will go out this round, right? But this round's about the money for Rangers,
Aye.
you know. So
Big time.
fair play, you know. You'll maybe reap the benefits.
And
of
especially where we
next
came
season.
from, you know, the first qualifying round to get this far.
Exactly.
Right, boys, so to round up the old round for round boxing match, what do you think? Call it a draw?
Aye, I'll say 3 each. Yeah.
3 each? A thriller? Aye.
Was there six?
There was 6 questions, aye?
Aye, 3 each. I was just checking you.
A 3 each draw after these 7 questions?
One was offside.
VAR. Right, we'll call it a draw, right? But as you know, Chris, every week on Football Daft, we want to put our guest football knowledge to the test, and this week it's a bit of a different wee quiz this week.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
since Rangers and Celtic fans are obsessed with each other, more so the Celtic fans obsessed with the Rangers.
I'm
I'd say,
obsessed
right?
with you, Stevie.
Is he had a beer?
Just wait till I have a beer.
Right, so due to the whole obsession thing, right, we're going to ask Stephen questions about Celtic and we're going to ask Jamie questions about Rangers. So Chris is going to ask Jamie Rangers questions.
Right.
And I'll ask you the Celtic questions, right? We'll determine who's winning who's winning the game this Sunday. Right, so you want to go first, Chrissy boy?
Aye, I'll go first.
Right.
Be prepared. You've got 90 seconds, brother.
Okay. Right.
And in 90 seconds.
You can't pass,
Right.
you must
You must
give an
answer.
answer.
Even if it. Right. Okay.
Right?
Right.
For fuck's sake, some of these answers you have no chance.
I've got no chance. I've got no chance.
Right,
Right. Okay.
Right, so the
Right.
time
I
starts.
don't like this first question.
Right. Why is everybody looking at me and laughing
The
about this first question?
The first question should be multiple choice.
Is the clock ready? Producer
3,
John?
2,
Right.
1,
Okay.
go. What year were Rangers formed?
2014.
Fucking
Who's Rangers top scorer of all time?
Pass. Oh, can he pass?
Can he pass?
Alan McCoist.
Who is Rangers' most expensive signing?
Torre Andre Flo.
To the nearest 1,000, what is the capacity of Ibrox?
48.
What club did Rangers sign Jake Hasty from?
Motherwell.
Who is Rangers' current shirt sponsor?
32 red.
Who was the sponsor before 32 Red?
No, it wasn't Carling. Carling.
How many trebles have Rangers won?
None.
Who's Rangers' assistant manager?
Gary
And
McAllister.
what year did Rangers win the Cup Winners' Cup?
78.
What country is Philip Helander from?
Sweden.
Who has made the most appearances for Rangers?
Alan McCoist again.
What Rangers' record league victory?
7-0.
Who succeeded Dick Advocat as manager?
Alex McLeish.
Who's the oldest player in the Rangers squad?
Alan McGregor.
Who's the Rangers sporting director?
Oh, Ross Thompson.
Who was Rangers' first manager?
Bill Struth.
Which celebrity chef once played for Rangers?
Ainsley Harriott.
And what year were Rangers UEFA Cup final runners up?
2008.
Who was the club captain before Tavernier?
Lee Wallace.
Every question.
Is that the first time we've got
That's the
through
first time
every single
we've
question?
asked every question, aye.
It's caused quite a lot of times Grado's reading them. Fucking. That was.
By the way, that was alright. That
Apart
was
from a
not
couple of
bad.
fucking stupid answers. But, right.
As I said, multiple choice.
Right, Stephen, you
You're
ready?
people
Right.
your letterbox again.
Right, you cannot pass, remember, you must give an answer. Right, and your time starts now. What year were Celtic formed?
1888.
Who is Celtic's top scorer of all time?
Andy Walker.
Who is Celtic's most expensive signing?
Chris Sutton.
To the nearest thousand, what is the capacity of Celtic Park?
60,000.
What club did Celtic sign Scott Bain from?
Dundee.
Who is Celtic's current shirt sponsor?
Daffabet.
Who was the sponsor before Daffabet?
Magners.
How many trebles have Celtic won?
4.
Who is Celtic's assistant manager?
John Kennedy.
In what year did Celtic win the European Cup?
1967.
What country is Jozo Simonovic from?
Croatia.
Who has made most appearances for Celtic?
Billy McNeil.
What's Celtic's record league victory?
13-0.
Who succeeded Joe Venglos as manager?
Murdo McLeod.
Who is the oldest player in the Celtic squad?
Scott Brown.
Who is Celtic's head of football operations?
I don't even fucking know that.
Ian Corrington or something like
Who was Celtic's first manager?
that. Brother Walford.
Which line of duty star is a Celtic supporter?
Reg from the Bill.
In what year were Celtic UEFA Cup final runners up?
2003.
Who was the club captain before Scott Brown?
Paul Telfer.
Oh, time.
Nicky Hammond.
That's a close one.
I've never even fucking
What
heard
is
of
it?
that. Nicky Hammond, I've never heard of him. Celtic.
Aye, the head of football operations.
Who was the Rangers sponsor before?
Blackthorn.
Blackthorn.
Yes. Right,
Right,
so
that's got to be a close one, I would say. Right.
we're going to go through the wrong answers first.
Oh, I
Right.
didn't even fucking make a
So-
note about ones you got wrong, but
I'll
did
just
you?
go through the answers.
Just
Eh?
all wrong.
10, right, okay.
Right, so Rangers were formed in 1872.
Incorrect.
Rangers' top scorer of all time was Jimmy Smith. Nearest thousand, it was 51. Rangers signed Jake Hasty from Motherwell. Blackthorn was the sponsor. They've won 7 trebles. 72 they won the Cup Winners' Cup. Dougie Gray had the most appearances. 10-0 was the record victory. Alec McLeish, oldest players Alan McGregor.
You just go through all the answers. I thought you got all the. I thought you're saying that's the ones you got wrong. That's every question. It's like I got some of them right.
Fuck it, man. I can't believe he said Ainsley Harriott when Gordon
Right,
Ramsay.
Celtic's top scorer of all time was Jimmy McGrory. Got that wrong, mate. Right. Most expensive signing. Do you know that, boys?
Hodgson Edward.
Aye.
Right. Where are we? How many trebles have Celtic won?
5.
6, it says here.
6?
I wouldn't
That was
know.
5.
I wouldn't know. What would you say?
I thought.
I would say 6.
Aye.
Was it not 1 under Steen, 1 under O'Neill, and then.
I'm going to carry on with my wrong
Aye,
because
fuck
I don't
it.
get
Wikipedia
it.
says 6, Chris, stop
Right.
moaning.
Alright.
It's 5.
One was,
Celtic-
one was
it's
during the
5.
war,
Aye.
it didn't count.
Celtic's record league victory was 11-0 against Dundee. Joe Venglos, he was succeeded by the man who could also rap, John Barnes. The oldest player in the Celtic squad, Craig Gordon. Celtic's head of football operations.
Nicky Hammond.
Who was Celtic's first manager? Do you know that, boys?
First manager was Willie Mealy.
Right. And I can't, your answer was absolutely class, Reg for the ball, but it's actually Martin Compston, right, who's the line of duty Celtic supporter. And the club captain before Scott Brown was Stephen McManus.
Wait, hold on a minute. Are you no Martin Comston? I'm here under false pretense.
If I was Martin Compston, I wouldn't be here. Right, so the scores are in, troops. Scores are in. The old Firm rivalry and all that. Jamie, you scored 9.
Okay, respectable.
Stephen, we are the people, mate. You scored 10. There we go. A victory for the Glasgow's red, white,
Sun
and blue
always shines in the
tonight,
righteous.
troops.
Well, I tell you what, see if it's 10-9 and something. It'll be no bad.
We can cancel the
It'll be
season
no
and
bad.
just go in that game.
Aye, we'll just party together after that game, boys. Eh?
Back to my man, gave up a Celtic tap on you, a Rangers tap on.
Half and half.
Aye,
Half and
exactly.
half,
Off for a
fans.
double adapter.
Right, Troops, honestly, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having
a wee
me.
special episode this week, obviously up to Firm. I hope we'll have a safe day and a fun day on Sunday, Troops.
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Fist bump, no.
Elbow
Shoulder
pumps
taps.
in it. Elbow pumps,
What's
Laura.
wrong, Holmes? That one.
Love it, boys. Brilliant. Thanks a lot for coming in. I appreciate it. All the best on Sunday. Hope you have a good day now, right?
May the best team win or
Yes.
something.
Aye, Celtic.
Celtic,
Enjoy the hospitality.
Come on!